there are a number of news which come, especially property belongs to somebody else and it is sold by another person to unknown people and all, and then there is a confusion. So how on such type of things, how does the land survey department keep an eye? When it is, how it is verified?
As far as possible, we are trying to put in property registration transaction details in the property register, and the transaction details will be having a history of 30 years. Like if I purchase a property of in 1970, I leave it up to the general public to put in his details, come forward, put in his details, and say that the property bearing survey number 70/1 or village Penata France has been purchased by virtue of so and so stated. This is the registration number. Now, whoever is a buyer who wants to buy, he can very well go and re-verify these records with the sub-registrar office before purchasing any property. Now, in 1970, if I purchased it, then if I sold the property in 1980, the transaction details from 1970 and 1980, all these things will be reflected on the property register. So, based on these, you can make a you can exercise due diligence and ensure that whenever you are investing buy any property, you can go and check the details. Apart from that, if in that property, if there are any houses, or if there is any litigation, or if there is any bank loan on that property, all these details will be there on the property register.
So one more thing is that how an owner could further process if his or her property has been sold by an unknown person, how she can
that
without
details,
knowing.
That details also will be there on property register. We keep the leverage for the person who owns the property to put in his mobile ID, number as well as his email ID. So if any transaction is happening in this particular property, there will be a trigger mechanism where he can get an SMS or he will get an email that so and so transaction is happening in his property.
In his property. So he or she will come to know.
Wherever he might be in any part of the globe, he will be able to know that something is happening in this property where he can immediately go and stop such type of transactions.
But we have seen many times this such type of properties going to litigations, court issues and all, even though the concerned owner owns that property and somebody has sold it and he also goes to the court, then what happens?
So this trigger mechanism will help them to ensure to nip the bud at the initial stage itself, so that litigations are not happening the way they are happening now.
Thank you.